Good afternoon, Commander Johnson, um, and welcome to our question and answer little session with the Assistant Commandant of Cadets, newly reported this summer, um, right in time for COVID to hit. And she's been helping us lead, along with other members of C Division, leading the Corps through the challenges facing the Corps of Cadets through this pandemic. So, Commander Johnson, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for all that you do. So kind of little meet and greet. It's nice to put a face to the name. I know some of the parents, well, most of the parents haven't seen you before. Could you give us a little bit of an introduction or a bio and a little bit about your backgrounds?
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Williams. Yeah, so as you said, my name is Commander Maureen Johnson. I am the Assistant Commandant of Cadets and the Chief of the Cadet Branch here at the Coast Guard Academy. I graduated from the Academy in 2001 with a degree in marine science. And from there, I went to my first ship in Miami and then spent the next 17 years as a prevention officer in the Coast Guard, finishing up my last tour at Sector Long Island Sound, right in New Haven, Connecticut, as the Chief of Prevention. And as Mr. Williams said, I reported here this summer, just in about June, and got started here. As the, I guess a little more of an introduction, so my husband is also active duty and he teaches over in the humanities department at the Academy. I have two kids, 12 and 8 years old, and we live about halfway between New London and New Haven. So it's a great area here, and I'm just happy to be here at the Academy with all of your sons and daughters.
Thank you, Commander. And reporting in as the new Assistant Commandant of Cadets, could you give us a little bit of overview of what your role is among the Corps of Cadets and sort of what tasks that we do with C Division, specifically with your role and how you help out the Corps?
Sure. As I said, I'm the Assistant Commandant of Cadets and the Chief of the Cadet Branch. And as Chief of the Cadet Branch, I oversee all 16 of the company officers and company chiefs and the regimental officer who are doing the day-to-day operations inside Chase Hall. Everything from overseeing the cadet leadership practicum, the Chase Hall practicum, to helping out every cadet with issues that are going on, whether personal or professional, mentoring them through different situations. So that is my staff in the barracks. I also oversee all of the duties that they're responsible for, and so all of your cadets are in a division. That division has certain responsibilities, and those responsibilities report up to the company officers. So then I also hear about a lot of those things that are happening, everything from regimental drill to Corps-wide morale, to all of the conduct issues that happen and the adjudication as they work through the system, and all manner of things in between that run through the Corps.
Now, there's no doubt that with the pandemic hitting us over the spring and affecting the fall summer training environment and now the academic year, things are looking a lot different from how they used to be in the years past. Could you give us a little bit of insight about what the cadets go through, what goes on in Chase Hall, and some comments on how we're overcoming these COVID challenges?
Sure. Yes, so for those of you who have firsties or second class, I'm sure you've heard a lot about how much things have changed, and they are leading the Corps through a lot of these challenges. But all of you have heard a very different version of Chase Hall and the Academy than was here just a year ago. We've had to basically remake almost everything in the wake of COVID to try to reduce the risk on board the campus, reduce the risk to the faculty, to the staff, to the cadets, everybody who lives and works here. So for the cadets specifically, there's been a lot of changes in their day-to-day. I'm sure you've heard about many of them. Everything from their daily schedule has been shifted. And they get to sleep in a little bit later if they want to. And then we also have military training periods during the middle of the day, and then a shorter military training period in the evening. All of their meals are split up, so we couldn't pack 1,070 cadets into the wardroom at the same time. So we basically cut them in half and spread them out at various tables to socially distance. But in doing that, we now have 6 separate meal periods throughout the day to accommodate the whole Corps going through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. we have a new liberty and travel policy, which is pretty restrictive. So for those of you parents who've either wanted your cadet to come home or have wanted to come and visit your cadet, there are a lot of restrictions written into that policy. And we ask that you also are familiar with those if you are coming to interact with your cadet, or we're asking them to come home to make sure that we're all following the right policies and staying on the right side of the risk picture for all of these cadets living in the same building together. And then as far as our medical staff's been working practically around the clock to make sure that we have our own testing capability on site, that we're screening folks. There's a surveillance testing program going on where members of the faculty and staff and cadets are getting tested in a certain small percentage every day. And then your cadets classes all look very different too. Everything from being fully virtual, some are hybrid, some are in person, to try to reduce the crowding in the classrooms, to only put maybe 10 cadets in a classroom at a time, or maybe have the whole thing virtual to ensure we can socially distance and keep everybody safe. There's just been a litany of changes. Everything that we've done has been medically informed and has really taken into account the risk picture, the risk versus gain for every decision and every situation is taken on a case by case to ensure the safety of the whole academy community.
Thank you, Commander. And like we said, there's no doubt about how different this semester is than from the years past. And I know my mom personally really upset that she couldn't come up this year for Parents Weekend. And that it's in the virtual format, but it is something that we are being able to deliver to the parents. My mom, something I know many parents feel the same way, something they really look forward to every year. So it was unfortunate that we have to be doing it this way. But Commander Johnson, if you have any message for the parents out there who maybe feel the same way that my mom does, or anything that you want them to know, the floor is yours.
Sure. I would say, look, I'm a parent myself. I don't have college-age kids. I've got a preteen and a younger kid. But I would say, you are just so important to our ability to get this mission done. And our mission is to ensure that your sons and daughters graduate from here as officers in the Coast Guard, and that we do that safely, and that we have the health of the whole community in mind. And so, if your son or daughter is talking to you and something doesn't make sense, or it just doesn't sound right to you, please encourage them to go to their company officer and company chief, or even their cadet company commander, company XO, for clarification, to make sure that they're getting the right and full information for any of their concerns. And if they have concerns, they need to report something they don't understand, anything like that. Please encourage them to talk to us. We are a staff of 17, and there's a little over 1,070 cadets. So we can't read everybody's mind. And we really, if you think there's a concern, please have your cadet talk to their chain of command. Otherwise, I understand this is a really stressful time. Some of you probably had your cadets in quarantine, either over swab summer or currently. And I understand that that's a difficult thing. We do our best to take care of them while they're in quarantine. And I fully understand that. I mean, we're doing this virtually right now because yours truly is quarantined, because I got exposed to someone who came up positive. And so I'm also following those same protocols that we ask your cadets to do if they get exposed, to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy. And I fully empathize with how hard it is, and how hard the restrictions are. And we're just doing our best to make sure that we can keep all 1,070 cadets and however many folks are at the academy, somewhere around 1,500 or 1,600, healthy and safe, to get us to November 24th, to get your cadets home to you or to wherever they're going over break, and get them to graduation this year or to their summer programs at the end of the spring semester.
Well, I definitely am looking forward to graduation very much, but we still got a little bit of a ways to go before we get there. Thank you for your time, Commander. We really appreciate your insight and all that you have done for C Division as you have assumed this role in these uncertain times and really shown leadership and leading from the front. We appreciate everything that you have done for us. So thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us here today and for working with us to provide a message to the parents, even though it's a little bit over virtual format as we are dealing with some quarantine. But that will be the conclusion of this meeting. Again, Commander, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.